Shalom, welcome to the Jewish View. My name is Rabbi Nachman Simon with the Chabad House of Delmar, together with my co-host Mark Ronich of Statewide News Service and jbiztechvalley.com. Welcome, Mark, and we have a very, very special guest with us, Assemblyman Alec Brook-Krasny. Can I call you Alec?
Pleasure. Alec, of course. Alec,
all right.
yes,
Alec,
yes.
Welcome to the Jewish View.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
So, yeah, Alec, I got to tell you, this is so special for me personally because you are one of the only Russian-born elected officials in the country. And we have the honor and privilege of having you in the New York State Assembly.
Well, for the record, I think we have someone now in Maryland
Right.
Assembly, the Maryland House of Representatives, rather. He was born there, but he's been living here since he was
Right.
4 years of age. So it's
But
a
you're
little
one
bit
of
different.
But you're one of a few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, still,
So,
yes.
tell us where you grew up and
And
how
the
you
Russian
came.
Jewish, maybe I'm the only one.
Okay, maybe.
There is a possibility. Wow.
We're still honored to have you with your presence.
Thank you for inviting me.
So, what is your background? Where did you grow up in Russia? It's a big country. Where did you?
In Moscow. I was born in Moscow. I've been living there for almost 30 years. I came here in 1989, spending about a year in the transition, going through Vienna and Rome, like many other Russian Jewish immigrants. At that time, was born in a family of my religious grandfather, and the more I live, the more I'm proud of it. He was a gabbai in one of there was very few synagogues. It was 4 synagogues and 10 million people in Moscow. One of them was on Arkhipov Street, now it's Shalom Aleichem Street. The other one was in Marina Rocha. And 2 was in the suburbs, Moscow suburbs.
But when you say he was religious, was he an Orthodox? Was everything Orthodox in
Well,
Moscow?
he was what now here in this country and prior to that in the other country we call Hasidism. So he was a part of Hasidim. So God bless his memory. He was the one who made sure that I became a perfectly Jewish in the day of my life, which was very, very rare.
Did you have a bar mitzvah?
Well, bar mitzvah is a different story. The bris was very, very difficult. For my mother, it was almost impossible to agree with my grandfather. Now I'm very proud of it, and now I'm very grateful to him. But at the time where that thing was supposed to be happening, my mother was screaming.
I mean, people don't even understand nowadays. It's 20 years.
It's a different situation even in Russia now.
Yeah.
But I have to say that in 1958, the year when I was born in Moscow, Russia, it was just totally impossible even to think about it, because first physical exam in the school and you becoming an outlaw.
So you didn't have a bar mitzvah, so we could still have a bar mitzvah for
Yes,
you.
well, we can have a bar mitzvah, yes, because with bar mitzvah it was just very difficult.
Well, this is
for
great.
My parents to
I
do
did
it.
this for someone already once, where he was up here at.
Mark, it's a great idea. With you, I'll do anything, even bar mitzvah
We'll get
for
this
myself.
done. We'll get this
As long
done
as
for
you had
you.
the bris done, that's
That's
the main
it.
thing. All
That
right,
could be
that's
more
all.
That's the
painful.
rabbi.
Yeah.
According to the rabbi, it's the main thing. So
Yeah,
we'll
that's
talk
what it
about
is.
bar mitzvah.
And now, which on the spectrum of Judaism, where do you fall?
Well, I have to. Well, my Rabbi Chaim Brickman from Seagate, he's saying that I'm not observant, but I'm religious.
That's fine.
And I'm just
wondering, like, do you affiliate with conservative Orthodox Reform?
Knesset of Israel. Well, it's conservative. It's it's Hasidic synagogue. I can say that I'm religious. My rabbi is saying that I'm religious, but I cannot say that.
Well, people tell me that because I go to services more than occasionally, that I'm religious. And I say, well, you know what? There are people who are even more religious than me who do so much more that I don't consider myself as religious. But they say, but look at how dedicated I am to the religion. And I'm like, but that's two different things, and we get into these
yeah,
discussions.
yeah.
I know where you're coming from.
It's a long discussion, but
It's a long discussion, but I'm just
I'm
asking a
trying
simple
to do
question.
to the other people what I want them to do to me, and that's my religion. And I
Okay.
think this is perfectly suitable for the Jewish religion. Don't you think, Rabbi?
The main thing, it says the number one mitzvah the Lubavitch Rebbe said was what you just said. You have to love another person, and that's what you said. It says in the Talmud, how do you, it's a nice thing where you have to hug everybody, kiss everybody. What does that mean? It says, what's hated to you, don't do to your friend. That is the whole Torah. So
Now,
it is a major part.
Another part of your life is when you came here, you were an entrepreneur, where you started an entertainment business,
Yes.
and then you went into...
I've been busy this 25 years, well, 24.
and your accent is still there from
Yeah.
Russia. You didn't try to
Sure.
even...
Well, the thing is that, like I said, I've been living there for 30 years. So
Yeah.
your apparatus here it's hard to change it.
Well,
At the age of 30 years.
do you break into Russian in the middle of a sentence, in the middle of a conversation?
I'm reading in both languages, and I'm trying to read Russian still because I'm very often on the Russian radio, and you have to be still articulate in Russian. You have to remember the Russian language. Otherwise, it just wouldn't be appropriate to be
For
in
the
Russian
Russians
radio.
in America you're talking to in the radio?
Yeah. Yes.
There's
In
a sizable,
Brooklyn,
what is
yeah.
the size
It's,
of the Russian community
Well,
then?
the
I know there's
community
a lot in Brighton
in
Beach.
Brooklyn alone, I would say about 200,000 people.
Really, that many?
Yes, and according to the UG Federation survey, it's about 400. The survey was done about 10 years ago. 450,000, I believe, in tri-state area.
Really, that's a lot.
Yeah, yes, and that's
They're
and
more
it's visible.
concentrated in your area, really. Where is your area specifically?
Well, the
You're in
irony
Brighton
is,
Beach, Brighton
I have a part of Brighton Beach, but I don't have the whole Brighton Beach. In fact, the irony is that people usually think, and primarily because of my accent, that I'm representing the majority of the people in my district, the Russian-speaking Americans. It's actually not true.
No.
I have only 16% of Russian-speaking Americans in my district. I have 29% African Americans. I have the whole Coney Island area.
Well,
I have a
the
sizable Italian American.
Italian, Bensonhurst and Dyker Heights.
Bay Ridge, rather. Bay Ridge and Dyker Heights. I have a very sizable Italian community,
Well, you
Italian
have
American.
some of Bensonhurst.
Very-
Because I saw
very
the
few
map of your
blocks,
district
really.
that's on your website,
Mark,
and I
very
went to
few
Lafayette
blocks.
High School, and I
Well,
know Bensonhurst.
Lafayette is not, it's,
in your
it's
district.
not my district.
No, it's in Colton.
Yes,
yeah,
it's
I
Bill
know.
Colton's district.
But
yeah.
you still have that over by you still.
Just-
no.
In Bensonhurst, well, again,
Yes.
we can argue what's Bensonhurst,
Bensonhurst,
and
exactly.
what is
There's no
Bay Ridge,
sign,
right?
"Welcome to Bensonhurst," right.
But, well, according to my knowledge, I have a sizable Italian-American community
Yes.
in Bay Ridge and especially Dyker Heights, about 15%, 11% Irish-American community, and a just extremely diverse district. Whether you're looking at ethnicity or you're looking at political opinions, it's just extremely diverse from the very left to the very right.
Then how do you think, I mean, in your opinion, that you won? I mean, that is really an accomplishment. Here you clearly have an accent, you're Russian Jew. You would think that would be a normal thing. Okay, you're the representative of Brighton Beach for all the Russian Jews. You must be doing something right. That's what I'm saying. What are you doing?
Look at the face. Look at how he smiles. Look at how happy he looks.
I gotta tell you that. Well, when first of all, I started as a member of the community board and then treasurer of the community board in the area of Coney Island, where you have a sizable African American community. I was the first candidate for the elective office in the area who's been running together with the black candidate in the year 2000. So at the year 2000, I've been known already in African American community, and then of course in the Russian community. And then because I've been living in Italy for almost a year before I came to the United States, very much related to the Italian Americans in my district. And because I'm an immigrant, very much related to other communities, Pakistani community, Muslim community in Bay Ridge. And they feel, I think they feel very good about the fact that the first Russian-speaking elected official happened to represent people in the area. They seems to be proud of it, humbly saying. I'm humbly saying. You know?
Let me just go back to this. You started Funorama, which is a 14,000 square foot cultural education entertainment community center in Brooklyn.
Yes, yeah.
That's so, I mean, do you ever
I
think
actually
now?
built it
Do
from
you
the
ever,
scratch.
do you ever think now in the assembly that that's Funorama now, and that's something that
I have to tell you that even though I speak much, I think much highly about assembly, but the experience that I got from building it from the
Yes.
scratch as a small business owner, it wasn't that small really, and an experience as the founder of Kajeka, which is the umbrella for the Russian
gonna
Jewish
get to that
community
in a minute, yeah.
in New York City. I have a very diverse experience. It helps me a lot. It helps me a lot. I can look at any legislation from the different perspectives
Right.
as a small business owner or an executive director of nonprofit, and I think make a more educated, knowledgeable decision about the particular legislation.
So tell us about Kojeko. Kojeko, it's C-O-J-E-C-O. It's
Yes.
the Council of Jewish Emigre Community Organizations.
Yes.
Now, why did you want to start this? Why did you want to build this? What was the purpose for it?
Well, the purpose is to create a bridge between mainstream Jewish community and the Russian-speaking Jewish community in New York City. And the reason for for the fact that it's very much in need, and it was right after September 11th when we created that organization. I'm a founding executive
Right, because
director.
it was October of '01 that you...
Was the fact that about 20, according to the UGA Federation survey that was done about the same time, before September 11th, about quarter of Jewish people living in New York City are speaking with Russian accent, speaking English or speaking Russian only. Quarter of the Jewish
Wow.
community in New York City. So it was extremely important to create a bridge like that between Russian-speaking community and mainstream Jewish community. So myself and I, we went, my friends and I, we went to UGA Federation. We asked them for the first grant. We were able to convince them that it's extremely important. And now Kajeka is the part of UGA Federation network. It's first time, I think, within 20 years that UGA Federation has accepted new organization.
And are you content with the way you your baby was born, you know, and now
Yes,
someone
yeah.
else...
And I've been there for 5 years, and I've created some very good programs, for example, Jewish education for kids from the small kids, 3 to 5, from the Russian-speaking families in the daycares which owned by Russian-speaking Jews. That program are now in existence in about, I believe, 50 daycares all over New York City. Very, very successful program. That's really giving small kids the first idea why they're Jewish, and in a very, very appropriate way. The teachers are students of colleges, the volunteers. It's a very interesting program. Maybe it's, you know, when we'll have time, we'll talk about it, because I believe it's so important to bring small kids to the Jewish roots at the very beginning of their lives. Then they will decide whether they're
Sure.
going to be observant, they're going to be religious, but at least knowing that they belong to the great nation, that's something that that program does. The other program that I started, and it became very big, we called it a center without walls. That's it's a bridge between the Russian-speaking community and almost every UGA Federation center in New York, in tri-state area, I should say now. Whether it's 92nd Street Y, 14th Street Y, Shorefront Y on Brighton Beach, Central Queens Y. This is the program that's taking care of these small bridges in the different areas of New York City, and that's and they have now more good programs. Roman Shmulinson, who was an associate executive director almost right out of college.
Roman who?
Roman Shmulinson, who was the associate executive director
I don't know who that
at
is.
Kajeka. I hope one day I'll be able to introduce him to
Okay.
you, Rabbi, and Mark, and a wonderful, wonderful guy. He's an executive director now, and he's a Jewish professional
Okay.
versus myself, which was just a Jewish entrepreneur.
So this is your, what term is this for you in the assembly?
Well, it's fourth term, eighth year.
Years. This is your 8th year, right? Because
Yeah,
you're up
it's
for
my
election in
8th year,
November.
yes,
yeah.
uh-huh.
So this is 4 terms.
Yes.
Which committees do you sit on?
Aging, housing, social services, governmental employees, and I'm also now vice chair of a steering committee.
Did they tell you when you first got here and you were a freshman that there are certain committees like Ways and Means and Education and Health that you're not going to get on as a freshman?
Well, I kind of overheard of it, and because I have a district where social services are very important, aging is very important. I have a lot of people, seniors, social services and hospitals. And even though I'm not in the health committee, I'm on the social services committee. It's important for me to make sure that the revenue is coming to my district, so people not only got served, but the people who serving them are actually getting their salaries on time. Here I have my experience as executive director of nonprofit. I know how difficult it is. So with those perspectives in mind, I joined the committees that I'm telling you about, and I'm pretty happy with what the committees that I'm serving.
What would you want to, after you get presumably reelected and they choose new committee assignments for 2015, do you hope to change your committee, move up, sort of move up the ladder of committees? I'm sure Ways and Means, because that's the money committee, is one that you might relish to get on. I don't know.
Mark, let's just, let's get over the elections first, and then we'll.
All right. So with nine open seats and with so many people leaving over the past 8 years, where are you on the seniority scale? Are you pretty high up?
Plate number 82.
82, okay.
Plate number 82. And again, I'm vice chair of a steering committee. I'm part of leadership now.
Well, there are some people who have plate number 165, and there's only 150 members. So, that's really off. So
it's been always a question for me, too.
But you're in the double
we'll try
digits.
to figure it out.
Okay,
yeah.
so what in this 8 years that you've been in there, when you've gotten up and given a speech, passionate speech, the way you speak, what comes to mind? Which issue? What comes to mind that you really got up and
well, like I said, the
crystallized?
social services are very important.
Right. But which bill was it that you really?
It was a few bills. I had a bill that would prohibit a sale of hookah to the minors, and even though for the people in New York City it might be a minor bill, in my area, where it's in the culture of many communities, for the small kids start smoking hookah, it was very important for the community.
Hookah is incense?
Well,
it's not pot.
No, it's not.
No.
It's not. They're selling them now in the bars and hookah bars, and
Right.
but I just wanted to make sure that
You have a
kids
pipe.
not getting involved.
It's a pipe, and you put something in the pipe, and you.
Mark, it's
What?
a kind of a pipe, and I've tried it a couple times just to see what it is.
But you didn't inhale. No.
Yeah, I didn't get addicted to it though. But it's not. I don't think it's. Some people are saying that it's okay for your health. I don't think so. We did the research, and it wasn't bad for the kids, so it was important to take care of.
So that was your big impassioned speech. That
It was a passion thing. Yes. Then another bill which passed the assembly last year. It was introduced by me a couple of years ago, but it was
stolen.
I wouldn't say that. I'm very happy that it passed. It's a bill that's prohibiting companies who would have a business with New York State
Yes.
to have the companies who are dealing with those countries who would we consider terrorist countries, countries
Yes.
of terrorists.
Right.
That would prohibit those companies from getting a contract in New York State, from getting a business from New York State. That was my bill, I think, 3-4 years ago. Now it became a law, and I'm very happy about it. But I was very passionate about it.
Who was the sponsor when it became a law?
My speaker.
Oh, yeah, someone had to take your
No,
bill.
I'm not blaming
No,
anybody.
that's
No,
a
no,
good
no,
person.
no.
If you have to, someone has to take
Well,
the-
I got to tell you that this is, I'll tell you why I'm passionate about Israel and everything around
Yeah,
Israel.
please, yeah.
The Russian-speaking community in Israel is very sizable, as we know now. 22% of Israelis are of Russian-speaking descent. And every one of us, myself included, we have relatives in Israel, we have friends in Israel. Whatever's happening in Israel, we know about it within 3 minutes. Because somebody calls somebody, and it just, the ties are so close that sometimes we feel like it's the same community, especially during my Kajeka years, when I established a relationship with Israeli Knesset, with, at that time, with Prime Minister office, God bless his memory. He was very excited about dealing with the Russian-speaking community here because Israeli officials, high-ranking officials, they understand that in the Russian-speaking community here, they have a people who are very passionate about what's going on there in Israel. And things like, for example, the first meeting in support of Israel, which was the first big gathering in the Russian Jewish community in the year 2002, was organized by a few people, myself included. And there is an interesting short story about that meeting. It was, I believe it was in April. It was a very rainy day, and I wanted a governor, at that time it was Governor Pataki, to come to the meeting to acknowledge the presence of the Russian Jewish community here in New York State. And I got a call at 5:30 in the morning, and one of the staffers, they were saying, Alec, you know, it's very rainy day, you're not going to have people. I said, how many people do you want me to guarantee you in order for governor to come over? And I realized that it's my first time. If I guarantee they're not going to come, I'm in trouble. But and they said, well, you know, if you think you're going to have 500 people, then maybe. I said, I guarantee you 1,000. Can you guarantee me that governor is coming? Well, you get your people first. I said, you get governor ready. Guess what?
Yeah.
Under the rain, for 3 hours, under the pouring rain, 12,000 people
Really?
was standing in the park, and I have in my office a picture with Pataki.
Oh, he did come.
Yeah.
Oh,
did.
good.
He
Well.
did. He did. And he never forget that. Every time I see him now, he remembers that day. He was absolutely, astonishingly impressed by that. Because it was a pouring rain. It was Asa Levy Park on Brighton Beach. The water was really up to here, the people. And I was standing there for 3 hours on the umbrella, so without the umbrella. And when, I'm having goosebumps now, I'm seriously. Because when we were standing there, I was standing next to the Governor Pataki, and he was speaking, you know, to the 12,000 people under the umbrellas in support of Israel. He realized that he has a community in New York State that will do anything to in support of a state of Israel. Anything. 3 hours. So it was.
That's impressive.
I'm very
That is-
emotional
yeah,
about it, but it's been 11, almost 12 years ago. But that's you know, I'm trying to explain why Israel is so important
Right.
for the Russian-speaking
How
community,
many
because
times?
it's
How many times have
our
you,
relatives.
How many times have you been to
I
Israel?
lost my count already. I believe, I don't know, maybe 11, 12,
Yeah.
at least.
And your
At
favorite
least.
parts of Israel?
Well,
Jerusalem.
of course, Jerusalem is absolutely incredible, incredible. Well, I like Tel Aviv too. It's and you know, you have a beautiful cities, and you just when you're there, you understand what was done by Jewish people by converting a desert into something so beautiful.
What's your view on the Gaza Strip and the West Bank?
Well, I was asked by we had a memorial in tribute to Prime Minister Sharon, and thanks to the media, it was a big participation of big stations, and they actually asked me what's my opinion would be about what he has done with Gaza. I think that what he's done with Gaza, he just opened it up to the whole world, and just very clearly said to the whole world that here we have a very peaceful country, and we're ready to negotiate to the degree that we're going to give you a piece of our territory. But even after we do that, you'll see it's going to be rockets flying from Gaza anyway, because they don't want peace. And that's, to my opinion, that's what Sharon has done.
But how do you, personally speaking, what do you see? Do you think it's a good idea to have Gaza on one side and then the West Bank on the other?
You know what? It was Israeli politics. It's just so hard to say whether it's a good idea or bad idea.
In your opinion? I mean, it's hard to say.
In my opinion, it was a right way to show to the whole world, even though, the whole world still wouldn't understand. But it was a great attempt to show to the whole world who wants the peace and who doesn't.
I think at the end, we have a few more minutes, but taking you maybe, you keep your thumb on Russia because on one hand, and I know from the Chabad activities, it's incredible. They actually say that there's more children in Jewish camps in Russia than there are in the United States, you should know, and the Chabad camps. But then you read reports about anti-Semitism and Ukraine's a different country than Russia, I know, but all right, it's around there. I mean, so it's like, is it bad or is it good? I mean, there's a lot of good things happening, I know, but...
Well, first of all, of course, it's much better now. And we know, I know firsthand from the rabbis there, because of Kajeka, I personally know Rabbi Lazar and, basically all the very effective leaders in Jewish community there. Of course, it's much better now. Even regarding anti-Semitism, it's better. It's not a government policies anymore. It was in the Soviet time. It was government policy. It was very hard for us to get to the college. It was absolutely impossible environment when you, like myself, when you had a breeze in the first physical exam, they finding out and the doctor is saying to the whole class of yours that you have it. I mean, I was always physically strong, that I was able to
take care of yourself.
I was trying, yeah. So it's better now. It's much better than the times when I was.
Is it the people? Because here you saw Russians, and now you see Americans. Is it something in the Russian frame of mind that they're so against Jews? I mean, in America, you don't see that. I mean, just one instance.
Rabbi, it's it's a philosophical conversation. But I believe it may be, you can build a parallel with the people who would be very jealous of a smart neighbor and successful neighbor. That's what's happening with Israel, clearly. And with our nation, I guess, over the thousands of years, the same thing.
Did you have, in the last minute, do you have anything else that we didn't bring up that you'd like to point out, you'd like to bring up?
Well, I think it's, for me, I think it's very important to learn, and that's what I've been learning over the years here in Albany in the Assembly, that the policies in this country, in this state, New York City, they're very much built on the ideas of Jewish values and Jewish understanding and Jewish religion. And it's something that's, I'm I'm cherished very much because I feel I'm a part of a great nation, small but very powerful. And it was, for me, it was very interesting to learn how the moral, the policies, the democracy itself, how much is based on our values
Yes.
of our nation. It's incredible.
Well, thank you for being our guest.
Thank you very much.
I
Thank you
think
for
the
having
greatest
me.
thing is America, that a person from your background, from a Russian, and being an immigrant, and you can rise to a leadership,
Yeah.
a role of leadership. You are the beauty of America. You know, like an American, whoever you are, you want to try, you want to take the opportunity, you can do it, you know,
Yes.
and that's really it. That's what
Well,
America's made out of.
And the
America is just a
blessing.
great country, really.
And a blessing to you. They should continue doing the great work. You know, you've overcome so many challenges in your life. How many people can go from a country and then have a business and then become into political nature? So you should only represent your people and really the whole New York State in a good way with good health and very much success.
Thank you. Thank you,
All right.
Rabbi. Zagizin.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.